Yeah, so welcome again to Lisa and to Mother Earth or Gaia that she has been learning to channel. And we've had a couple conversations in past weeks. So we thought we'd continue this week again. And maybe we could start with something that you had mentioned as Gaia the last time about a wave of light that's coming in now before October this year. So it seems like this could be fairly significant. And I'm curious to understand more about what that might mean.
I'm here. The wave of light is a heart opening. It metaphorically, it cracks the door of your heart open. It is an energy. It comes from the center of the universe to the center of our galaxy. It does not come through the sun. It just comes direct as a wave, as an energy, as a code that unlocks things within you. It unlocks energy within you so that you can have that heart opening. And the heart opening is a softness, a caring, a compassion that maybe you have not experienced before. Some people have. Some people can feel that compassion. Other people need a little help. And that's what this is going to be.
So every time there's been crisis in human history, it's usually accompanied by some kind of deeper awareness and compassion as people respond to the crisis. So the fact that we are going through so much political crisis and war and violence and destruction, ecological destruction and so on, could bring about a corresponding response of compassion. So I know this is something that isn't easy for humans, but sometimes it may be necessary in order to break open the shell around the heart.
It's not only the catalyst that you see in your outside world, what others are doing. It's the catalyst within your inside world, what's going on in your world, what you need to pay attention to in your world, where maybe you're not compassionate and you could put compassion onto a situation. It's the little tiny things and everyday decisions, as well as the bigger ones too.
Right. So I know a lot of people are going through kind of a dark night period. And by that, I mean not depression or fear so much as just a sense of being emptied out. Like there's nothing that motivates them anymore, nothing that drives them into whatever they used to be happy with before, in terms of service, in terms of work, in terms of just joyful, passionate living. So there seems to be this emptiness, which could be a sort of cocooning in preparation for the metamorphosis, in preparation for the breaking open of compassion, of the heart, of going to the next level of awareness or divinity.
Agreed, because if you really look at depression, what is depression? What is disillusionment? What is that? It's a signal for you that something's not right. and you need to change. It's not something to be, well, maybe some people would like to be medicated and just shoved away. It's something you need to look at. Look at that. Why are you feeling that way? Why? You need that period before you can change. And everyone thinks, oh, depression is bad. Depression is just showing you something.
Right. So I see this as a incremental process. It's been happening for some time. But I'm curious about what you mentioned last time about this wave coming through before October. That's just a month, 2 months away. So is there a special kind of wave, a special intensity of this frequency of light?
I'm going to shift and let Lisa talk to the Divine Planetary Mother for this information. Hold on. She is here. The wave of light comes in such a way that you will not hugely perceive it or feel it or have that giant world aha moment. It's soft, it's subtle. It's going to be a refraction and a piece of light that has come from source. I showed Lisa, I don't know how to explain this. It is pure white light, love light from source that's been refracted and reflected down to you. If source sent you pure white light, it wouldn't be good for the planet. So it has to be filtered slightly. But it is a heart opening. It is an evolutionary tool for you to use or not use. It's your choice if you want to pick it up. It's your choice. If you want, you can prepare for this light by being kind and loving to yourself and being in that matching vibration of being kind and being loving toward yourself. If you're not kind and loving toward yourself, you cannot be kind and loving towards others. And you align yourself with that vibration and you align yourself with that, and that's how you receive something like it. You vibrate with it. So if you find that softness and that compassion within yourself, you can give that to others. It will be amplified if you understand. This is what the evolution is going to be. It won't be one giant aha moment. This is going to be, and it will separate you from other people, and you're looking at other people now and thinking, wow, like that's someone who's really asleep, or that one who doesn't understand, or that one is not this, or that one is not that. You are seeing a difference, and you will continue to see those differences as this light comes in that does open yourself up.
Right. So what do you see as the physical effects of this wave of light? Individually and also collectively?
Individually, it may cause you to look at more things that you don't like, more things that you don't like about yourself in the beginning, but it will be a healing. This will be a healing thing. It is a very emotional thing, and it is a very expansion period. And you will come out of this expansion period for your heart in a much better place if you receive that energy. You see, the tools are here for you. You have to ask for them by being in alignment with it. Physically, it will not hugely affect your physical body. It will affect your emotional body.
I'm reminded also of Peter Donov, who was a Bulgarian mystic in the middle of the last century. He died in 1945. And just before he died, there was a prophecy that he made about this fire from heaven. It's like cosmic electricity pouring into the atmosphere of the earth. And, this feels similar to me than to what many scientists today are speaking about as galactic superwaves. So there's a galactic storm of energy coming in from the galactic center. And as it moves through our solar system, it amplifies everything. It amplifies climate changes, human emotional responses, DNA transformations, a lot of things that are part of our evolutionary journey. So I'm wondering, and when he spoke about this cosmic electricity, he also said that this would create a separation, that those who are ready for it would be able to ride this wave and move into a greater possibility of ascension. And those who are not able to assimilate it would find that they could no longer remain in physical body for very much longer.
This is about your desire to change, your desire, this disillusionment period that you spoke of, that you've seen, that creates a desire to change. So if you have that desire within you, then you can accept this light. So this period of a little bit of being depressed or disillusioned or uninterested or whatever, it serves a purpose. And that purpose is for you to look for something different. Everyone thinks depression is bad. It is not terribly bad. It's not easy to go through, but it's not a bad state. You can decide that you're just going to be depressed and not look at any of your issues, and you'll just stay that way, right? But that's why you go to therapy. If you're depressed, you talk about your issues. You want to find out what your issues are. Think of this period as a little self-therapy. You want to look at your issues and look at that. You're a little disillusioned. You don't have a direction. This is going to give you that opening that you need to find your direction as well. And again, this is going to be transmuted in a personal way for you. And you're going to get all these little packages, all these little gifts over the next few years. This is not one giant wave of light and all the negativity on this planet is wiped clean. No, the negativity is within you. And you decide to get rid of that negativity or deal with that negativity or live with that negativity in a balanced way.
Right. Well, there's also a distinction I would make between emotional depression and a spiritual dark night. The spiritual dark night, I would see more of a cocooning phase. So it's like, we've been running around being the caterpillar, used to a certain way of being on this earth. And then all of that gets cut off. And suddenly you're plunged into the state of emptiness, where nothing that was old and familiar seems to make sense or seems to resonate or seems to enliven us anymore. But it's the cocooning before the emergence of the butterfly.
You could call it that. That's very apt. Yes, you could call it that.
One other question. Last time you'd also spoken about the 144,000. And I'm wondering what that actually represents. Is this a metaphor for some kind of critical mass being reached, where then collectively we can actually make a jump, a quantum leap into the next dimensional space? I mean, is this a literal number, or are we talking about a metaphoric?
I'm going to send you back to the Divine Earth Mother, because this is going to be her her purview, her thing. Hold on. Thank you. I'm here. Yes, please go ahead. Your question about the 144,000.
Yeah, so I'll just repeat that. So what is this 144,000? Is it like a critical mass that once we reach that, then we can make the leap, a quantum leap into the next dimensional space? Or is it something that may even be literal in the sense that it activates certain genetic codes in humanity?
I am speaking literally. There are 144,000 souls that I have a covenant with. They are the original souls. They are the original people that came to this planet to be human, to be this divine human, this divine being. I must provide that to them. They are the builders of this next place. And children that are born unto them will not necessarily be of the covenant, but they will be from the entire human collective, which is a very, very mixed race of people now. We've welcomed so many into us. You call them Pleiadians, Lyrians, but it doesn't matter. We're all one. We are all from one.
So why is this 144,000 so important? If we're also including
that is the number that builds. That is the number that can build a genome, that can make a genome, that can make a society, that could make billions of people, that can actually physically make what we need. It's a genome. And it's the original souls that I have a covenant with. There's a lot of other souls that have joined, that have developed here, that want to stay here. They can stay here, or you can leave, whichever.
Okay, so when you say original souls, you're speaking about the first seeding of human forms on this planet.
Yes.
So that would be maybe back in the times of Lemuria, Atlantis, overlapping civilizations around that time?
This would be pre-Atlantis, pre-Lemuria.
All right. So this would be not necessarily a physical race.
This is it is the new human. It is a new vessel, if you like to call it a vessel.
Okay, so we're coming full circle, And that 144,000 ancient souls are now being reincarnated to hold the intention for the new human species, for divine human species.
Yes.
So you said, I mean, I know that timing isn't necessarily your thing because Earth's timing is not the same as human timing always.
Kiara,
Yeah,
I'm getting a delivery. I don't know why it's coming right now, but it's coming right now, and I can't really talk. Can I just call you back in a few moments?
sure. Yeah.
Or just put it on pause?
Okay, we can put it on pause.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was coming today.
No
Hold
problem.
on. Okay.
Yeah, so while Lisa is checking her delivery, maybe I'll say a little bit about the new human from my perspective. I've been following the work of Sri Aurobindo and the mother, who were avatars in India during the last century. And they spoke about this transition from the animal human to the human to the divine human. And so this is what we're speaking about as the new species. So we're referring to this new genetic race. Some refer to it as the seventh root race. Some refer to it as Homo luminous. But this is the context for the new human that Earth Mother is referring to. So yeah, so go ahead. So
Okay.
you're
I'm
speaking
here.
about the
Let me
new
sort of
human.
get back.
All right. No
Keep
worries.
talking.
Yeah, so I was just talking about the context for the divine human, following upon different um, evolutions. So Sri Aurobindo talks about the journey from the animal human, where we're operating out of our instinctive capacities, to the human, where we're learning to develop reason, and then the divine human, where we're fully in contact with the soul, and the soul then begins to enter fully, incarnate fully, and direct our lives and our evolution. So
This new body will be able to hold so much more consciousness. More consciousness. It will be more aware of its subtle bodies, of its emotional body, of its astral body. It will be more aware of those bodies, and it will be able to hold much more consciousness. You are not just Kiara, you are not just Lisa. You are so much more than that. And you will be aware of what that is.
Right. Yeah, I talk about the difference between the personal self and the universal self. So the universal
Much more
self,
the universal self
yeah,
will be a part of this being. You will still be you. You're always you. You're always you when you're in the highest dimension. You are you. You will always perceive yourself as you. You will just be more of an expanded you.
yeah. Yeah, and it's like, who am I? From a personal level, I have a certain sense of that. From a universal soul level, I have a sense of that. But they can merge together while in the human form. So
Yeah.
I see that the new species will be more of that merging, that
You are
awareness of.
limited in how much consciousness you can hold. You are very limited.
Yeah,
So a new body, a new genome, something new is required. You won't take this physical body. A lot of people think you're taking your physical body, but what is your physical body? You have to think of it like, what is it? I mean, we have all these subtle bodies. We have the actual cellular physical body. That doesn't go along. That doesn't go with us. You will be in this new body. I showed Lisa a vision that she didn't understand when she very, very first had a regression. And I showed her what this looked like. That my 12, the 12 that I spoke of, my covenant is with the 12, and they will help build this new world. And I showed her the white planet being cleansed, being made clean. A metaphor, of course, but there were 12 stars around the planet, and those represented the 12 original people, groups. And off to the side, waiting to come in, were billions of other little points of light. And that's what most people are. They're going to wait to come into this body. They're going to wait to come into this new vehicle, and they will be birthed from their 144,000. And maybe not in a way that is our way of birthing children now. It'll be different. It'll be very different. But my first covenant is with them, and they will go first. It doesn't matter whether you go first or you go second, and you go whatever wave you come in, is that you're going. It doesn't matter. And it will take time for this timeline to run down. And you'll see what you need to see here.
My sense is that it's like, some people talk about the 12 strands of DNA. To me, I see it as you spoke of these 12 original archetypes of humanity, and maybe it's galactic races, 12 different galactic races, each of which have assisted the human race in developing a certain form of DNA, a certain capacity. And when they all come together, then we are far more than the individual aspects. The sum is greater than the whole, or the whole is greater than the parts.
It's not just the physical vehicle. You're not all the same. Not only does evolution evolve the body, evolve the mind, it evolves the society. You're all different because you have different roles in society.
Yeah. So this could take 1,000 years or more.
Yes, this is going to, this is going to be running parallel to your current timeline. And when you're ready to go, you're ready to go. And when you leave this place, you will be ready to leave this place. And you will be able to create in this new space, unlike you create here.
So I'm trying to understand this in context of the Hindu cycle of the ages. So they speak about ages of light, Satyuga, gradually densificating down to an age of darkness. So it's a difference in density, not so much good and bad. So prior to Lemuria, we were living more in etheric bodies. We densified into physical body. we entered into the Kali Yuga, which also has to do with, the distance of our sun from the galactic center as it circles around our twin star. And then as we move out of the Kali Yuga, we are returning back into subtle bodies and subtler bodies. So it could be that the Kali Yuga is it's like we are experiencing the density of the physical form, the material form. And then as we go into Dwapara Yuga, we're experiencing the etheric body. And then beyond that, as we enter into the Treta Yuga, we're experiencing the mental, emotional bodies. And then as we return into the age of light, Satya Yuga, we're back into re-identifying with ourselves as the soul body. It's not that there's no corresponding experience of the denser bodies, but they're all unified and experienced through the soul body. So this, in my seeing, could be how evolution works, how we actually entering into the divine human.
Homo sapien sapien. Homo sapien sapien will die out, just like Cro-Magnon died out, just like Neanderthals died out. This will pass.
And so the next species would be Homo luminous, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, and it's a natural cycle. So we are all part of this. And each time we reincarnate, we have the opportunity to enter into a subtler and more expanded experience of what it means to be the new species. And it may take several generations to actually
and it doesn't stop there. You keep moving through densities. You'll keep moving through densities. You'll keep gaining consciousness. Not everybody goes. Not everybody. Some people stay at certain levels for certain times, and other people move through quickly. It all depends upon what your agreement, your soul path is.
Well, there's an image I have of when a child is conceived. There's in the act of conception, there could be 1 million sperm cells seeking to impregnate the egg. Only one makes it. Maybe occasionally 2 make it together, and you have twins. But without the millions of sperm cells supporting this journey, it wouldn't be possible for that one sperm to impregnate the egg. So it's similar to that in the sense that, here we are, there's billions of humans on this earth, and we're doing what we can. We're living our lives to the best of our capacity. Not all of us will be the precursors of this new humanity, but the few of us that can hold that vibration in our genetical or in our genetics, then create the path for others to follow through reincarnational cycles.
You will decide whether you want to come back or not. There may be a reincarnation cycle. There may not be. I don't know what you're going to create. You may decide to not create the reincarnation cycle and stay in this body for thousands of years. This is your creation. I don't create that. This is going to be what you as a collective decide to do. I mean, anything is open to you. I know it seems magic, but anything is open to you to do this.
Absolutely. There's already many people, or many humans, who have achieved that, who have been living in in their physical bodies for hundreds, thousands of years. Not many of them are known. Many of them have been, kind of secluded and hiding out in their caves on the mountaintops across the world. But yeah, they are there. And I feel that more and more people who are being called to this recognize something within them, that this is an option that we are given. And we can choose to do, to make the effort as necessary to make that happen.
What you speak of are the immortals. The immortals hold information, whether they know it or not. They hold information about history and the earth, and they serve a unique purpose here.
Mm. So how many immortals are there on this planet right now?
A few thousand.
Are most of them in hiding?
Yes, I believe they are. They will pass as you pass. They will shift a little easier into this place, but they hold much information about the earth, the history, and they have a special purpose which won't be revealed right now.
And perhaps there are many of us who are in mortal bodies today who are on their way to becoming immortal in this incarnation.
Most of you will pass into this new system. This place that we live in is polluted. It's corrupt. It has issues. And it will degrade further. And you will see what you need to see here. And then you will go. Some don't need to see anymore. Some do. And that was their sole choice. And that's what it would take to wake them. Some need to see this.
All right, so there's a journey that you are making as the consciousness of this earth. You've gone through your own cycles of incarnation. You've gone through your own densification and undensification process. And in the last few hundred years, there's been extreme amounts of toxic pollution that's affecting all life on this planet. It's affecting the balance of life. It's affecting the numbers of species that are here today. Sometimes there's an overbalance of one species against another. And the chemical pollution within the waters, within the atmosphere, within the oceans, is certainly, part of what's keeping us in density. So do you see that humanity in the decades, centuries to come can consciously, or will choose to consciously clean up this chemical pollution, this toxicity that we have chosen to create?
When you really look at it, pollution is just things that are out of place. It's still all me. It's yes, there's chemicals in your air and plastic in your soil. But where did those chemicals come from? It had to be synthesized from me. It's still me. It's just things are not in their place.
Mm.
And you could put things in your place if you want to. But the dark influence is not going to allow you to do that. The dark influence is to get you to rise up in your consciousness so you can move to this next place. When this three-dimensional world is done, it's done.
Mm. Right. So it's okay. So it's okay to dissolve the third dimensional world, because then we are on our journey towards whatever people might call it, fourth, fifth, sixth dimensional
Yes.
realms,
Yes.
which is the next phase of our evolutionary future.
Yes. I told Lisa in the very, very beginning, don't worry about the pollution. Don't cry about these things. Don't be upset, because it is just going to be not for you to hold. This is what you made now. It's not what you're going to make in the future. You will be a completely different creature.
So there's many planets that have gone through the same process, even in our own solar system.
Yes.
So would you say that Earth, in her current form, is the last third dimensional planet in our solar system?
You perceive our solar system as having only a few planets when there are 42 planets in our system. We rotate another star. And there are other systems that rotate around that star. So there are 42 planets in this system.
So some people have said that Sirius, actually there's maybe even 2 stars in the Sirius system, Sirius A and Sirius B, and that our sun is actually a third sun within this trinary system. So it could well be that some of these 42 planets exist in the Sirius star system, and that we move together as we circulate around the galactic center.
I don't know the name. I haven't shown Lisa a map, or she hasn't looked at a map. She doesn't know which particular star it is, but we do rotate around another star, and there are 42 planets, and some planets do not have suns. They don't need them. And they will communicate with the sun that's very, very far away.
Very interesting. There's legends amongst many tribes in Africa, for instance, the Dogon being one, where they say that either their ancestors or a parallel species came from Sirius, and these were the ancestors of the cetaceans, the whales, the dolphins, the sea people. Same with the lions in Africa, and perhaps other species as well.
There was one root species to start off humanity. And the whales split from that root species. The whales are indeed your biological cousins that took another path.
Some of these legends say that they actually walked on land before they
Yes.
went into the
Yes.
oceans.
Yes. Yes. And it is not legend. You have a fossil record that shows you that these creatures walked on land, and that you have discovered. But they also split off and evolved into human. You hold very similar structures. If you look at the structure of a whale, and if you look at the structure of a human, you actually have very similar structures.
Yeah, the flippers actually, especially when you examine them as a fetus, have finger extensions.
And if you examine humans as a fetus, it goes through a period where it may look like a fish or a whale.
Yeah. And there's many of us in human incarnation who remember being in the oceans as
I think so.
whales
I
and
think that must be
dolphins.
so. Yes. Yes.
In fact, I can even experience an aspect of myself in this moment, currently within the oceans. So there's a parallel incarnation that's a whale.
That could be possible, but we are all going to experience what it means to be whales, what it means to be trees, what it means to be the soil. We are going to be that intimate with this planet. We will be this planet. We will understand what it means to be. When I said I'm giving you the keys, I'm giving you the consciousness of the earth. Right. And that encompasses everything.
Yeah, in the shamanic traditions, they speak about spirit animals. So in other words, you have a special relationship with certain animals or birds or species or even elementals, where you can enter into their consciousness. They can enter into your consciousness. You feel an identity with who they are, and then they map your life.
It was how it was at one time. And they have that memory, and they have remembered their abilities to do this. And you will be remembering your abilities very soon. With this sensitivity, with this wave of light comes knowledge, and knowledge of who you are. And you must form a loose collective. You don't have to be an incredible collective unit before you go to this place, but you must form the collective here before you go.
What do you mean?
You must form at least the heart opening for each other in this density now in 3D. You have to form that unity, that harmony, that joy. You must form that first before you can go to this next place, because this next place you will be in a collective. You need to take that consciousness with you. So the groups that can do that, that will form that collective, and it may start as small groups. It won't be one giant unity thing. That doesn't happen for a long time. You must form that little heart opening. And then
so is that why more and more people are being guided to live in community, land-based communities?
There will be much moving around in the next few years for people to adjust and find where they want to be, who they don't want to be with, who they want to be with. They will be very much drawn and guided by this light, by these things coming in. You know, you have made vast plans before coming into this incarnation, and you will remember that. You will remember those plans. And go where you're guided. Go talk to whom you feel you want to talk to. Use that guidance of joy, of your inner joy and happiness to find what you want. Only do what you want to do. Only do what your intuition tells you is right. And that's your spiritual guidance. That's always been your spiritual guidance. Should never do things that you feel are wrong or don't want to do. That's how you find your path in life. That's how societies are organized. You follow your joy to get there.
Exactly. And it seems to me that one of the reasons for the so-called pandemic in the last 2-3 years has been to dislocate people from their normal rhythms of life and force them to look inside, force them to look at what's important for them and find their own joy, find their own heart, and find their own community, so that we can then together move into the physical phase.
You can take these things and let them crush you if that's where you want to go. Just like the depression, you can let that crush you. You can take these things and let them crush you. Or you could let them show you where it should lead to. It can seem like a fall. It can seem like a depression. It can seem like that. But you have to find the gift in it. And that's always been life. That's always been how life is. You have to find the gift in the things that make you change.
Right. Yeah, it's all about how we perceive it. As we perceive it, so it becomes real.
No matter what it is, no matter what the dark may throw at you, no matter what situation you find yourself in, there's always guidance. It's your job to find that guidance. It's not hard finding your way out of a dark box if you don't know which way to go. The light that comes will be a little light in that box for you to follow.
Yeah, and that grace is always there. You spoke about the relationship between you as the Earth Mother and you as the Divine Mother, the Cosmic Mother. And we all have access, as humans, we have access to the Divine Mother and the Earth Mother within us. So we are all holographic reflections of everything in the universe. So, that focus on grace emanating from the Divine Mother is available always to each of us. So that, when we talk about being lost in the darkness or stuck in an old pattern and feeling helpless and hopeless, there's always that grace as we let go of the personal self, as we merge or surrender to the divine. And then the grace begins to move through because it's not separate. And I think this is encouraging for us to be reminded over and over again that we are not alone, that we're not separate.
That is very true. And Lisa has a job to do with manifestation of your dreams, of your thoughts, of your desires. And right now she is receiving dreams that are your thoughts, your collective desires. And they are more like nightmares. And I tell her to push them away. Don't look at that. You put in there unity, harmony, and joy, and you focus on that. It's hard for Lisa to look at what you're creating right now. And for you to go to this other place, you're going to have to create better things. You create fear. You create many, many horrible things. And Lisa, I am sorry that you are experiencing this. But you are part of the manifestation of this new world. So you as planetary consciousness need to see this. So sorry, Lisa. The dreams aren't as bad as they used to be, but it needs to change. This needs to change, and she needs to see where you're at so she can judge this. She is a unique individual that is part of me, and she is part of my eyes and my ears here. I see what she sees. Because I don't know what you're doing. I'm not part of you yet. Not an intimate part of you anyway. And that's what we will be. So if I have used our conversation to tell Lisa of a question that she has, I hope you won't mind.
No, it's important, yeah. And I think that, each of us has a place within this tapestry of awakening. So it's like we're reminding each other.
We're all incredibly special beings. And this light is going to show you that you're incredibly special beings. And when it comes time for you to exit this place and leave your physical body behind, no matter how you do it, you will understand your place, and you will understand what unity is, and you will understand these things. And that's what this time is about.
Oh. Yeah, thank you. Any final words for those of us listening?
I know you're going through trials right now. Use that as a tool. Don't look away to those dark parts of yourself that you're shown. Don't look away. Look at it. See what it tells you. Go to therapy if you need it. Go and examine what's really in your heart. Send love to yourself. Send love to others. Put yourself in that vibration of love and in that vibration so that you can receive like. Like attracts like, molecule attracts similar molecules, attract similar molecules. It's a law of attraction. And if you are in that vibration and in that attraction, you will receive this light. You will receive this. And like water, it will grow. It like water on a plant, it will help the plant grow. And that's what all this is about. It's about your growth.
Oh, thank you. It feels.
Thank you, Kiara.
Good. Feels complete for now.
It does, doesn't it?
No.
Delivery and all. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a wonderful trip and align yourself. And she really gave me this vision of putting my hand on my heart and just sending love to myself and sending just joy to myself and being completely happy. And I really felt that from her. So I think this light is going to be interesting, and it's going to be a little package. And I don't know if it's, I kind of sense that it's a package that's here, and when you're ready for it, you'll get it. I don't think it's like, if you miss the boat, you're not going to get it. I think it's like, it's just here, and it'll be here for you. It's not something that, if I'm not feeling like I'm loving myself at the end of October, I'm not going to get this. I don't think it's like that. I think it's
yeah, it's like it becomes available and then we grow into
yeah,
it.
yeah. And just the generosity and the love that she feels for you. I feel it so deeply when she talks in these conversations. And yeah, it kind of opens my heart a little bit too.
Yeah.
Thank you for today, Kiara.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa.
Well, have a wonderful trip.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye now.
Bye. Bye for now.